Go Blue, everybody. What to expect after the NCAA hearing this week, plus Oh No Part 2, recruiting roundup, and more. It's all coming up next on Michigan Wolverines Live. And we are back for another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live, episode 202. My name's John Diadamo, and I'm going to be taking you through the next hour and a half or so. Today's Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. It's my birthday week. That's right, folks. We're coming to you from YouTube. We're coming to you from X. We're coming to you from Twitch. And if you're on your commute, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, we sound really good on radio. So check us out on your commute, anything else. And if you do that, leave a rating or review and make it 5 stars if you can. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, share with a friend. And of course, if you have a comment or question, you know what to do. It's a super chat. And now we do have a new exciting thing with YouTube where there's a community leaderboard. So if you super chat, it helps you rise up the community leaderboard. That's really fun. New thing that they just added like last week. And as always, partner in crime, TJ in the house for another Tuesday edition here. How you doing?
Let's go. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Another crazy Tuesday with news breaking before the show, so that's always fun. But it's your birthday?
Birthday week. Birthday week.
So birthday week.
It's on the 5th. It's on the 5th. So I'm not going to be on the show. So
Okay. Fair enough. Well, happy birthday, John. Although this birthday week stuff, it's
I know.
It's all right. Hey, we're gonna celebrate it anyways, man.
We got everybody here. We got Marmar here. We got Douglas. We got Tom. What up, Tom? Marmar in the house. We got the Bull. Everybody's here today. Keith Rebar, charter member of the Connor Stallions crew. Captain Stabbin. We got my girl in the house, Courtney. Go Blue, and so many more. And everybody's here, and we do appreciate you all. And even we've got GT throwing the super chat for the birthday week. I appreciate that, GT. Always a great friend of the show here. And go Blue. All right. With that said, why don't we get started here with the first topic, which is the NCAA Committee on Infractions. We have been building up to this. We have been telling you straight up, no chaser, exactly what we think is going to happen. And here we are with the actual meeting this week. It's taken them long enough, but here it is. 6-6, which is a Friday, and then I guess they're meeting Saturday, 6-7. Very interesting stuff there. Maybe people have to stay longer. I don't know what's up with that, but the key that I want everybody to understand is that this is the convening meeting. They're going to be reviewing what they've found, which is not a whole hell of a lot, and then they're going to be doling out the punishment, but prepare for another 45-day wait. I want everybody to not be expecting to hear about the punishments unless maybe something leaks, which is possible. But I would just expect that it's, sorry, Buckeye Scoop, but you're going to have another 45 days to stretch content because it's probably not going to be released this week. 45 days to go.
Yeah. Well, he's got to milk that cow, so I'm sure he will. Yeah, so we got to, I mean, it's more waiting, and it's going to be till the end of July, and we'll see where it goes, John. But I mean, we've been very strong in our position on the show. We've literally have held our position for probably the last year and a half now, which is right here, a reminder of our predictions. We are anticipating Sharon Moore to get suspended. I do think it'll be more than 2 games. I think it'll be 2 games this year and 2 games the year after. There's going to be a fine. I'm thinking in the 10 to 20 million range. And I think we're going to get recruiting restrictions, show causes for Harbaugh, Stallions, and Chris Partridge. And I think that is what we're going to have. I do not think we're losing wins. I do not think we're losing Big Ten championships. I know we're not losing the national title. So the Buckeyes are going to be in their feelings. Clip the receipts, get the receipts. This is my call to Wolverine Nation. Start bookmarking tweets because we're going to have a show when the announcement is out and we know the punishment or whatever. We will be doing a show, and it's going to be receipt season. Now it goes both ways. If we're wrong, well, they're going to, then we're wrong and we'll have to own it. But I'm confident we're not. I also have a $100 bet with our guy at Ohio State DG. So I'll be looking for my money. But we'll see, man. To be determined on that. John, what's your thoughts on all of it?
I'm 100% in agreement here. The only deviation is I think it might be 4 games this year. Now, if they basically game 1 through 4, but I think you're right with the overall number. 4 games. Right. I think you're right there. 6 would be the absolute max. But again, this would be for the text message deletion. Like this is going to be related because Harbaugh is the one that they're pinning for the lack of institutional control aspect. So Harbaugh's the one getting probably 9 years show cause, and Stallions and Partridge getting some aspects. The other thing I want to add, don't be surprised if Connor Stallions sues. Connor Stallions has lawyered up. He has a legal team. The only one who I see this affecting the most is Connor Stallions in terms of future coaching prospects for college. Because Jim Harbaugh, he's fine. He's at the Chargers, right? Minner's fine. He's at the Chargers. So, Stallions has the most to lose, I feel like, if this goes through. I wouldn't be surprised to see a court battle, Connor Stallions versus the NCAA. Look out.
Yeah, and somebody asked, what about bowl bans? No bowl bans. No bowl. I don't believe we're having any bowl bans. So that's the position I'm in. I don't think it's not going to be the hammer they want. It's just not going to be the hammer they want. So, and I'll tell you right now, if it's what me and John think it's going to be, we are going to have a good time. We are going to be going through message boards. We're going to be watching the crying from the Ohio State Buckeyes. We're going to go live, and we're going to have another receipt season. I want everyone to tag me in all of the tweets that they bookmarked. We will go one by one. We'll cook them. We'll go through the Michigan State message boards, the Ohio State message boards. We'll have a good ass time with it. So be on the lookout for that. But we'll see how it goes. Now, and I did say, so I'm going to own it. If I'm wrong, then it's open season, bro. I'll be a target. I get it. I understand what I'm putting out publicly, but I feel confident in my position.
Yeah. And although I'm not usually on the Thursday show, in a couple weeks, I'd be happy to take an L as well and take calls from the Buckeyes who will be gloating. Because listen, when we're wrong, we say we're wrong, and we'll take all the heat, just like we did, by the way, in the post-game shows where Michigan lost, and we thought Michigan was going to win, and they went like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours taking calls from Buckeyes and saying, "I told like we take our lumps when we're wrong."
Yeah, and John, you already know you have an open invitation to any call-in show. You can call on anytime you want. But yeah, I mean, we'll probably do it might not even be a Thursday show. We could just hop on a Wednesday or something. It could even be a Tuesday. I mean, John, let's say let's say we have a Tuesday show and the ruling comes out at 6 o'clock or 7, like they typically do. Maybe we'll take calls that night.
Sure.
Maybe we'll see. But regardless, we'll have fun with it. I mean, either way, we're gonna it is what it is. However it goes, we'll handle it.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Either way, whether it's reading receipts from Buckeyes who got it wrong or whether we're the ones who get the receipts read to us, we're going to be here to commemorate / deal with / report on what's going on no matter what. Okay. Wolverine not so casual, as I like to call him, because Wolverine casual is hard in the paint. Here getting the intel, supporting the show, $10 super chat, getting legal on us here with the 1976 bylaw in all resolution methods. The parties, including the enforcement staff, should only rely on information that can be attributed to individuals who are willing to be identified. So I believe this is essentially saying everyone, any evidence, any info, it has to be, people need to be willing to be identified. So we need to understand the source of the evidence and then also be able to speak to the credibility or lack of credibility of that particular person. So I think that's what Wolverine casual is getting. Yeah, you can't have confidential sources is what Wolverine was saying there. So yeah.
Right. So we'll find that out as well. I mean, we already have an idea of who some of these individuals are, but we'll see if there's others.
Yeah. Like I said, keep it here. We'll be here. And whatever happens, we'll be taking your calls. All right. So we want to encourage everybody to partner with the Voice of College Football Michigan channel and all of our channels. Go to sponsorships at vocfb.com. The phones have been ringing off the hook, but we want anybody else who is interested to also have an opportunity to secure their sponsorship. So go ahead and email sponsorships at vocfb.com. And we want to remind everybody, we got a website. It's actually really cool. And we have our friend of the network and USC host Matt Zemek as the editor. And we've got stuff. I'll put it up here. Heck yeah. TJ is on it. What I like about the layout, you can actually get the full schedule of that day on the left-hand side, which is really nice because sometimes it's hard to find that the community post or the tweet or whatever. Now we've got it on the website, and then all of this content that whatever you want to learn about college football from all these different teams, you can go ahead and go to vocfb.com. You might even see an article from yours truly, who will be posting some more spring game articles soon and maybe some other content. So check it out, vocfb.com. Really cool. All right. And with that said, here we go. So to continue on the NCAA train, there were some people, and we called one out specifically, Joel Klatt, but also some Buckeyes, also some Spartans, who said that the reason Michigan President Santa Ono left was because of, at least in part, the NCAA violations, whatever you want to call it. Well, this recent development within the last hour or two, the University of Florida Board of Governors has rejected Santa Ono, or the Florida Board of Governors has rejected Santa Ono as president. So he was rejected. He is not going to be the president of Florida. And it was a 6 yeses to 10 no's situation. So, this had nothing to do with the NCAA. It had to do with diversity, equity, inclusion disputes. And with that said, can we put to bed anything related to the NCAA and Santa Ono leaving?
Well, it's funny, John. It's like the rivals are going to look at anything they possibly can and try to attribute it to the Hammer. And it goes to show you, one, the biases of their perspectives and opinions, how thirsty they are for a Hammer for Michigan, and how much shit that they make up in their own minds and delusions that Santa Ono, and I'm going to exclude Joe Klatt here, but we also know there's been some outlets on the Buckeye side or even the Spartan side who have tried to take liberties with Santa Ono leaving and saying, oh, it's because the NCAA is coming and he's trying to get out, or because what has happened is so bad at Michigan, he's trying to, distance himself from the situation. The unfortunate reality is this. It's a political game. That's just what it is. At Michigan, Santa Ono's a bit too conservative for Michigan's positions. And at Florida, Santa Ono's a bit too liberal for Florida positions. The University of Florida did want Santa Ono, but the Board of Governors voted no. And it is what it is. So that's the situation. Apparently the questioning of Santa Ono at the University of Florida was very intense. And some board members have said they've never seen anything like this. They really put Santa Ono through, a bunch of essentially a gauntlet of questions. And they just felt like he wasn't fitting ideology, ideologies did not match Florida's, right? So there we go. So now Santa Ono, who was going to be the highest paid president in the nation at $3 million a year, is now without a position due to a political climate. Now, however you feel about Santa Ono, like whether politically you agree with him or politically you disagree with him, me and John are just simply saying this is the reality of the situation. It's a political situation, nothing to do with the NCAA and what Michigan is currently going through athletically, and it's just something that it's just, but like the main point, John, that I think needs to come from this is this shows the desperation of the rivals who are trying to attribute anything to this Hammer, this Hammer that they think is this thing that they think is real, like a child believes in. If there are any children listening, I won't go there, but you know what I mean, John. Like we call these fairy tales. The adults call these fairy tales. The children, known as Buckeyes, know no better. And that's just the reality of the situation, man.
Yep. And that's the way it is. That's how we do it here at Michigan Wolverines Live. We're just we're going to report. We're not going to take a position on whether it was right or wrong as far as the rejection. But what we are going to say is let's just ease up on the NCAA Hammer talk with respect to the Santa Ono situation, because it's very obviously not because of that at this point.
Right.
So with that said, I think that pretty much we'll see what happens with Santa Ono next, but we do have a $20 super chat from Dominic Francio. Go Blue, have a drink on me. Thanks,
Thank you,
Dominic. Could this be a first-time super chat? It might be I haven't seen this name before, so if that's the case, I want you to know that it's very appreciated. Any super chat's appreciated.
Yeah.
$20 is amazing. Thank you so much. All right. So let's talk about Moose. Moose, are you here? Let's see. Let's throw that moose emoji in chat if you're a member. Get that emoji. So the tight end Moose Ludwig has risen 129 places in the Rivals 2026 rankings, to the point it was so notable that Sports Illustrated wrote an entire article on it. So that is pretty wild. And we said from the film, when we were looking at the film, this guy seems underranked. This guy seems like he's going to be a problem for defenses. And now you're seeing, I think what you're seeing is the hope for the future pass game. Well, a player like this isn't coming to Michigan if they think it's going to be a handoff, run the ball 200 times a game, pass the ball maybe 5 times a game, because tight ends don't just want to block. They want to be at this in 2025. They want to also have a place in the receiving game. Perfect example, Colston Loveland parlayed that into a very high draft pick. So with that said, I mean, what's your take on this? And I know you mentioned before the show about Tariq Boney. I'd love to hear about that too. Just like the respect is starting to happen here.
Well, it just goes to show that Michigan gets in early and in identifying talent. Moose Ludwig was the #1 target for Michigan. Michigan was targeting him aggressively, and they were right again. The evaluators at Michigan were ahead of the curve, right? And I actually have been recently talking to a parent of a player, just discussions of things, and the whole ranking process and things of that nature are just not accurate, and you're seeing it. And another example of this, John, is Tariq Boney, who just received an Under Armour All-American invite. And I believe, what is he ranked right now? And his film shows a high upside player who has a lot of potential, and Michigan is just landing these guys. And if you look at our class right now, yeah, I mean,
number 91 edge. He's the number 91 edge.
Yeah, what's his total right? His 844 just received Under Armour All-American invite, guys. That's typically a blue chip invite. And he crushed it. If anyone saw his highlights in the camp that he was just at, he killed it. And but if we look at like the three stars at Michigan, Jalen Pyle, many of us would argue should be ranked higher. Tariq Boney should be ranked higher. Mason Bonner, the high upside athletic offensive weapon tight end that Michigan believes can be developed into a really good impact player in the future. You see that just Michigan is just, and we know this because we pride ourselves on this, and a lot of fans really want to maintain our finding gems, hidden gems, unearthing diamonds. And I think Michigan, they're still on it, because what separates Michigan from other schools is they have their own evaluation process. They rank kids into tiers. They grade them individually, like in terms of, how are they on, what are, like, in terms of different skill sets, like what they give them grades themselves. Some schools do not put in this. A lot of schools do not put in the effort Michigan does. Michigan has a NFL approach in terms of how they scout and evaluate high school kids, thanks to Harbaugh, who implemented this system a long time ago. So, I mean, it's good to see that Michigan is still maintaining a good eye for talent. And what's interesting, and we all know this, is Michigan players typically, as the year progresses, they start to trickle down the rankings again. They start to trickle back because the kids don't go to the camps. They don't play the political game that a lot of these ranking services actually. And like, I'm not saying the ranking services are completely faulty. Like, there's just a lot of margin of error. There's a lot of issue. It's impossible to rank 2,000 kids. It's not feasible. But they try to present themselves as they do, and they can, but the reality is they can't. And that's why you have kids who fall through the cracks. And a lot of schools will pick up on what Michigan's doing, and then they will offer scholarships after Michigan offers scholarships. But it's interesting to see Michigan still maintaining an edge in this evaluation process.
For sure. So yeah, I think it's they're definitely gaining in some respect in some aspects. I'm still seeing for the overall Michigan forecast for 2025 and like the ESPN, FPI, and things like that, they're saying Michigan's going 8-4. And I just think that's kind of absurd because how on earth is Michigan going to have the same, like, one fewer loss when there was basically no quarterback play last year? Can we just remember that, like it was the 131st passing offense in the country. There's basically no quarterback play. It was running game, defense, and Colston Loveland when he was healthy. That's it. That was the team. Mm-hmm. And Michigan got to 7 wins, 8 if you count beating Alabama in the ReliaQuest Bowl. So to say Michigan's going to go 8-4 again, or like near what Michigan did in 24, I just think isn't looking at the new OC, Bryce Underwood. I think the 9-10 win range is a little bit more reasonable with some of the additions that we're about to see on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'm at 9. But if it, I was on, for those who don't know, I was on the Oklahoma show yesterday with the Sooner Smiths, and the reality is that week 2 game, we're gonna get a lot of perspective. We're going to understand a lot more about this team, what it's capable of, what it's not capable of. And if we do win that game, then I would argue 10 wins should be the floor, So we'll see what Michigan can do with it. I don't even care. I personally, and I know we got to bring it up because it's the off season and these rankings are coming out. Personally, I don't give a shit about ESPN's FPI ranking or whatever, man. I mean, ESPN has consistently ranked Ohio State ahead of us and Ohio State winning the game and whatever. There's a reason, you play to win the game, John. You know what I mean? Like you like the paper's nice, and I know we got to talk about it. I feel like I'm shooting the messenger a little bit right here, but like I'm just saying, like the reality is F them. We'll see what Michigan can do. Michigan will do the talking on Saturdays, and I'm excited to see what they can do about it.
For sure. You're not wrong. I mean, it is something worth mentioning, but it's also something worth laughing at because it's like every year this has happened. Mm-hmm. Since 2021, they've had Ohio State ahead of Michigan, and every year, Michigan's beat Ohio State's ass for the last 4 years. Everybody throw the last 4 years Ohio State score emoji in chat if you want to. But that's what we've seen. We've seen 3 Big Ten championship wins. We've seen a national championship win. And so just let him keep saying it because I think the coaching staff does a great job of using that as fuel, right? They actually, since 21, they've really done a great job of chip on shoulder. What are you doing to beat Ohio State today? It's been a mentality change. It's been a mentality change since like I said, after the horrible COVID year. From then on, I think there was that shift. And so let's let them use it for fuel, and maybe it'll help even more get to a 10-win season. Exactly. Okay. So recruiting updates, we've got, I know everybody loves the recruiting roundup that we do every single week. And I am very curious here on Savion Hyder because Savion Hyder is between Tennessee and Michigan from all accounts. Ohio's probably not even close to those two in the running. Ohio's going to get left in the dust on this one. But I am concerned about Tennessee. So are the staff of On3. So are people who know what they're talking about. Do we think, TJ, that it's finally time? Is it going to happen to talk dollars and cents? Because he's going to have a Tennessee offer that has dollars and cents. Yep. They have no choice but to match or exceed at this point.
And you set it up perfectly, John. So, I mean, 2 weeks ago, I told you guys when he was on the visit with Tennessee that I was told personally, Michigan still leads. Okay, that was then going into the week of the Ohio State visit. And we all saw, let's take a shot at the Buckeyes here. Bucknut said, Ohio State leads for Savion. Wrong. You know what's funny? I'm going to go on a little tangent here. They always say the stuff that we say is inaccurate, but how come they don't ever call out their own shit? Savion Hyder is not into Ohio State. Not happening. So That's just the reality of it. It's funny to see that Bucknuts thought that he was, but he wasn't. And we shared the week prior that we did lead. It does come out. Steve Wilfong today says confirms that it's Michigan and Tennessee. Those are the teams he's watching. We talked about Tennessee. The concern with Tennessee, to your point, is Tennessee is willing to do it. What does that mean? What it takes. Okay. Tennessee is willing to do what it takes. Now, there is confidence that Michigan is going to be willing to talk numbers with Savion Hyder. We'll see, though. To be determined. Now, it's not. Now, the reason why I say to be determined, that is the belief heading into this visit. The belief heading into this visit is that it will happen. But until it happens, we'll find out, right? Like I can't like guarantee it, but I am aware that it's supposed to. It's supposed to happen. So as long as Michigan does what it needs, then I am 90% confident. As long as Michigan does what it needs to do, we're getting Hyder because he wants to come to Michigan. This is where he wants to go. Tony Alford has done an amazing job in terms of the relationship building and letting him know, the vision and the plan when he comes to Michigan. They've done a great job there. But the reality is, and we all know this, guys, when it comes to these top dogs, the big dogs, NIL is the deciding factor a lot of the times. And this is another one where it will matter what that amount is to Savion Hyder. And he's going to be making an announcement after his official visits, and it's going to come either in July or August. So let's be on the lookout for that. But I feel good about Michigan's position just for some of the things I've heard about what is expected on the visit when Savion Hyder does do his official visit, which will be June 13th. Okay, so he'll be doing his visit June 13th, and we'll stay tuned and we'll have an update for you guys. And if I hear anything in between, then obviously we'll update it with you guys. But that's just the reality of the situation. I think Michigan's in a good spot right now. I have felt that way for a while, and I'm still in that position. But yeah, in the back of my mind, sometimes I wonder, is Tennessee going to wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, we're not going to lose this one? But the other thing too that I want to argue, so Hyder is actually like number one on Michigan's board, and we have seen a trend of whoever number one is on Michigan's board, whether it be basketball or football, Michigan's getting them. Bryce Underwood, Yaxel Landenborg, Justice Haynes was number one for the transfer portal. Michigan's getting every single number one that they've had on their board. Savion Hyder is number one on Michigan's board. So we'll see how this one turns out. So far, Michigan's batting 1,000 on number ones. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, look, I think Michigan has done the better relationship build over time. They have been cultivating this for a long time, and Tony Alford has done a great job since he's been at Michigan of building this relationship up with Hyder. Whereas with Tennessee, it's kind of a late addition, right? Like they weren't, as far as I recall, they weren't in the mix at like 1-2 spot for until recently, and
Right.
and I'm sure that they always had them in their sights somewhere, but like it's only been recently that they've shot up in the possibilities here, where
Right.
it's now a Michigan-Tennessee battle.
And the reason why, John, because they're talking dollars, and it matters, and it matters. It just is what it is. I know people don't like the reality of that, or they want to talk recruiting without it, but you can't. I mean, I know people get mad at EJ because he's really focused on it, but it matters. Like it matters. So we'll see how it goes. We'll update you guys as it goes.
And of course, we of course have the Ohio State people infiltrating. Doreen's here, Garrison's here, some Buckeyes. I saw Ron Tarver earlier coming over from Scoop. So we got some Buckeyes in the chat.
Steve's in the chat. We got Steve in the chat.
Everyone be good to them as long as they don't start personally attacking. If they do, then we'll take care of it. But we give everyone a chance here, and they're cool, and we appreciate anybody who's going to be cool and chop it up on ball in the chat. So thank you for that. And now, with that said, let's go on to Amari Latimer.
Yeah, man. So this is big time. This is one of my my cycle crushes. This is one of my top players that I'm really loving. Like, it's not because he's ranked top 100. It's because he's just one of my favorite players of the cycle. John, I don't know if we're having internet issues, but the video's a bit choppy. But regardless, so he's going to be coming to Michigan. It's better now. He's going to be coming to Michigan for an official visit this weekend. This weekend, Michigan has an opportunity to make a major play. Okay. Wisconsin is the challenger here. Okay. But there's a belief that Michigan can make a move. And I love that run. That's my favorite run, where he just totally shoulders that guy to the ground and
some Blake Corum shit right there.
Yeah, I need Amari Latimer and Savion Hyder. That's what I need. I need it. Like, I need it.
That would be talk about thunder and lightning.
Bro, give me Amari Latimer and Savion Hyder. I don't ask for much, but I need it. Tony Alford could pull this off. Holy shit, man. But yeah, I mean, guess what? This is the weekend. So we're going to find out after this weekend. We're going to learn a lot about the realities of Michigan closing this over Wisconsin. I'm excited. I think Michigan has a great shot here, but it's going to come down to the official visits, and I'm sure NIL is going to be a factor as well. So good luck to Michigan this weekend, and we will definitely stay tuned to it, John.
Yeah, I just think that the running ability here, you like you said, if we find a way to pair that with Hyder, then look out, because that's another core. That's another Haskins, Corum Edwards type situation,
bro. Jordan Marshall, you got Jasper Parker, Savion Hyder, Amari Latimer. Yeah, all right, we're fine. We're good. We're good. Doesn't matter. We're good. So yeah, hopefully they can pull that one out, man. But next play we're gonna talk about is Leo Delaney. This is not as positive. This is unfortunately. This happened quickly, guys. The very first official visit of the week for Leo Delaney. He went to Clemson. Clemson's talking dollars. Clemson's putting money up, and they closed the deal. He is going to be announcing his commitment tomorrow. He's not even going to be taking Michigan's official visit. This is unfortunate. It's the top 100 interior offensive lineman that Michigan was in a great position in. Not good, but great position in just a few weeks ago. But Clemson was able to secure it, and they got it. And tomorrow he will announce his commitment to be a Clemson Tiger. Just wanted to give an update on that and why we will no longer likely be talking about him unless, maybe later in the cycle something happens, but we'll find out. But good news, Zion Robinson, another personal. Travis Johnson, Zion Robinson, and Mario Latimer are my three favorite crushes right now in terms of the cycle. Well, great news, guys. Zion Robinson visited this weekend with the Michigan Wolverines for an official visit. And you're going to see in this huddle tape why I'm a big fan, and many Michigan Wolverine fans are big fans of Zion Robinson. Zion Robinson is what Michigan is trying to achieve at the wide receiver position, and that is getting weapons, stocking up on weapons for this Chip Lindsey offense with quarterbacks like Brady Smeagol, Bryce Underwood, and more to come. We will see what they do with the 27 class. But Michigan is setting themselves up to be in a great position for Zion Robinson. The word out of the weekend is Michigan leads for Zion Robinson. The number one competition for Michigan is going to be TCU. And the reason why it's such a strong TCU is such a strong challenger, his dad is the director of track and field for TCU. So that's obviously a bit of a hurdle. Zion Robinson, I believe, is out of Texas. Is he not? Let's find out. Confirm it. I believe he is. So let's look, though. He is out of Texas. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Mansfield,
Texas.
So
yep.
Not only is he out of Texas, his father is the director of track and field at TCU. So we'll see if Michigan can overcome that. But here's what's also interesting, John. He finishes his official visit with Michigan. He announces Sunday night his commitment date. Okay, he is going to be, and let me pull it up for everybody. He is going to be announcing his commitment on, I believe it is July, and I'm looking. Dun, dun, dun. I post a lot. It is going to be end of July. So there's not an exact date, but he will be announcing his commitment at the end of July. But that's good news. The kid has an official visit and he's already picking his commitment date. I'm telling you right now, I'm of the position right now where I want Zion Robinson. I want, obviously, Jalen Powell is already in the class. I want Travis Johnson, and we're going to talk about CJ Sadler next. I have an update on that. But yeah, Zion Robinson for the win. We'll see what Michigan can do there. hopefully we can hang on to the lead and close. All right,
Yeah.
so John, we'll get into CJ Sadler next. Go on. What do you got?
I do just want to mention this would be an incredible addition. This is somebody who can break out a double coverage and catch balls. That's exactly what Ron Bellamy and Chip Lindsey need in their system. Because, quite frankly, other than Roman Wilson, who did make some pretty incredible catches in double coverage and over the helmet catches and all kinds of crazy stuff over his tenure, we really haven't seen that receiver lights out who can do that. So I'm excited to see him. And then also, obviously, CJ Sadler, a bit more of that wide type, bit more of that slot type, which is also needed in an offense. So let's go to him.
All right. And all right. I was reading Corey G's and Marmar's comments. In a minute, boys, in a minute. But CJ Sadler. All right, so Juju says, CJ Sadler not being on your crush list is diabolical. Well, I know you know, Juju. I think you know. All right, so here's the situation with the CJ Sadler. The reason why things have been so quiet. I'm not going to reveal all, but there is some hurdles that need to be overcome for him to come to Michigan. So that's really what's the hang up is. That's why there hasn't been a lot of noise and momentum with CJ Sadler. There are some hurdles that must be overcame for him to be able to go to Michigan. That's just the reality of the situation. So that's one of the reasons why I just don't have him on my list, because I'm kind of the opinion of I'm not so sure he's going to end up in the class. That's just the reality of it. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong that he will end up in the class. I know I'm not wrong with there are hurdles. I've had that confirmed to me now. After I had an individual, no names, who reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm hearing this," and I said, "Okay, that's interesting." And I know I'm not like sharing it, so like it might people be like, "Well, why don't you share it if you're not, or why say it if you're not going to share it?" Because it's private, and I don't want to reveal anything that I shouldn't. But I had an individual, reach out to me and say, "I'm hearing this." I confirmed it with somebody else, and it's accurate. So there does appear to be some hurdles that CJ Sadler has to overcome for him to be in the class. So we'll see how that goes. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but it's just the reality of the situation right now. And then another person said, "Well, why isn't Alistair Vallejo also on your crush list?" He is. I forgot him. I forgot his name. So Alistair Vallejo, Zion Robinson, Amari Latimer, and Travis Johnson. Those four, I'm all for it. If we can get all four, I'm about to be happy. Next player we're going to talk about is Brady Merchase. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but this kid is a burner. He's currently committed to Georgia. He did visit Michigan this weekend. It was a surprise visit. Michigan got him up there. There is a belief he might stay in SEC country. He's going to be taking other official visits. One of those official visits is Florida, and then the other one's going to be South Carolina. I don't know how realistic it's going to be for Michigan to pull him out of SEC country. But I do know Michigan feels very strong about its wide receiver board, and they're very confident. And it's good to see Michigan start at least swinging for this type of player. This kid's a burner. I mean, if we were to get Brady McChase and Zion Robinson, Travis Johnson, Jalen Pyle in the class, you might not be able to talk shit about Ron Bellamy, at least until the season, if production doesn't meet expectations, because quite honestly, this would be an insane cycle for wide receivers if Michigan was able to close all four of those. But we'll see. Currently looking good for three of them. So we'll see on that. Next player we'll talk about, John, is Deuce Geralds. Okay, so Michigan just got a official visit confirmation from Deuce Gerald, a top 100 target. He's going to be, I just wanted to give an update here because it just kind of broke recently. He's going to be visiting Michigan from June 18th to June 19th, which is actually a midweek visit, which is not normal. But obviously Michigan's trying to make an exception here, probably so they can give him full attention, right? Because most kids are not doing midweek visits, they're doing weekend visits. So we'll see if Michigan's able to, make a move when he comes to visit, but it's just something I want to put on everybody's radar. Next player we're going to talk about, who I'm a big fan of, Nick Abrams. Nick Abrams will be visiting this weekend. We have a bunch of visitors coming for official visits this weekend. We'll go into the entire list of official visitors once we get at the end of this list here. But this is one of Brian Jean-Marie's top priorities. We're going to see what can Michigan make a move for one of its top prospects, considering Brian John Marine does not have a very big board. At least it doesn't appear that there's a big board. This is a player that I would argue Michigan has to make a move with this weekend because there's not a lot of linebacker options. Brian John Marine does not cast a wide net. He really focuses on a select few guys, like literally less than a handful of players. He just focuses on. And this is one of them. And this kid is very talented. Would love to have him on the team. We'll see if Michigan can make some serious progress and potentially take the lead this weekend. Last player we're going to talk about is actually one that everyone needs to pay attention to. Safety Jordan Deck was scheduled to visit Michigan this past weekend, but was unable due to family reasons, right? But this weekend, he's coming back for an official visit, and there is optimism that Michigan currently leads for safety Jordan Deck, and that this weekend could potentially seal the deal, and Michigan could maybe get a commitment out of this weekend from Jordan Deck. Let's be on the lookout for that. Another player that Michigan could potentially seal a deal with is Amari Latimer. That's another name that people need to really pay attention to. It's possible Michigan could knock it out of the park this weekend. And so Amari Latimer and Jordan Deck are the two players that I feel best about coming out of this weekend. And I will list the rest of the visitors for the week. 5-star offensive tackle Felix Ojo will be visiting this weekend. Obviously, Amari Latimer, who we already talked about. Edge rusher Trenton Henderson, top 100 edge rusher, will be visiting Michigan this weekend. Top 100 corner Kari Adams will be visiting Michigan this weekend. Top 300 offensive lineman Carter Scruggs will be visiting. On 300 linebacker Braden Rouse will be visiting, but we haven't really talked about him. So some of these kids are visiting. I'm not so sure that they're really takes at this time, or that the interest is mutual at least. Top 300 edge rusher Mikhail Blade, who we've not heard much about, will be visiting this weekend. And Nick Abrams, like we talked about, and 4-star safety Donovan Webb, who we have heard about a little bit, but I'm not expecting big things, will be visiting Michigan this weekend. So this will be another pretty good weekend for official visits, but this isn't like the weekend for official visits. June 13th and June 20th are going to be the big weekends for official visits. We do need Michigan to start making some moves here. We're now in June. It's time Michigan starts making serious progress on building the class. This is the month to do it. If Michigan does not capitalize this month, I'm not saying we're screwed, but I am saying they got to get it together because you're going into halftime. If they don't have a strong June, John, then we're at halftime and the score isn't good. Michigan's got to figure it out. So I know they're waiting, and just so anyone who's new to watching the show, we are very well aware that Michigan is kind of waiting for the House bill to settle. They want to know the roster sizes before they commit and guarantee and promise numbers to kids. But at the same time, this is a business and you have to adapt. You got to adapt. And if you don't adapt, you'll be left behind. So we'll see if Michigan can do it, John.
If you don't adapt, you'll be left behind. And watch out for Jordan Deck and Amari Latimer. At least it sounds like one of whom might be committing if all goes well. So that's pretty huge.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping we get both of them. I mean, that'd be a good weekend. I'd be thrilled. I'd be thrilled. So we'll see what they can do with it.
For sure. So yeah, very exciting stuff. Recruiting is heating up, and it's great to see after the Burger Gate, and we were just like pulling our hair out for multiple weeks. Now there's actually updates, which is really great. Okay, we got a couple of super chats here. So I want to address John, you called me out, then didn't call in Thursday. So did you want it to be 3-on-1? Like, I mean, basically TJ and Johnny covered everything I would have said. Now, I think I might have been a little stronger in the I want to give this guy an F grade type mentality, but like I think they did a good job of representing my position, and I didn't really see the need to call in. But if you want to talk to me, I'm happy to. You're a member, so next we're gonna have a members only chat. So this month, let's chat then, or when I'm back from LA.
I would say this too, though. Listen, he stepped up. He called in Thursday. Shout out to him because he said he would, and a lot of people will say they will, and they don't. And he held his position. I mean, he made good points. He's not wrong. We are in a bit of a wait and see mode, and this season we're going to learn a lot. I got to ask the chat. I got to ask, hey, Marmar, I want to just confirm. You want me to give your phone number out on the show so Corey G can get it? let me know. If you say yes, I will, but I just want to confirm before I do it. All right, buddy?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll do it.
can we just you guys just like DM each other or something? Like,
how they gonna, you can't DM on YouTube. I'll do it. I don't give a shit. But you let me know, Mama.
All right. Wolverine Not So Casual has thrown out another one, $5. What about Samson Gash, homegrown Michigan wide receiver, currently low 3-star, but 6 foot and ran a 1041 100-meter. Holy moly, 1,500 all-purpose yards, might rise senior year.
Okay, so you know what? Okay, this is a great super chat, Wolverine Casual, because you know what? I didn't talk about it, and I should have. Yes. So there's a lot of moments I should have. You know, that's on me, Wolverine Casual. So shout out to you for the super chat. Thank you. So there is a wide receiver out of the state of Michigan, Samson Gash, who's been kind of tearing up some camps and has been getting attention from bigger schools recently. He did run a 10-4 100 meter. He's actually going to be He's going to camp at Michigan next week. There is a belief that Michigan's going to give him an offer next week, but he doesn't have an offer yet from Michigan. There's a belief that he wants, like, it feels as though he really wants to go to Michigan, but Michigan has to extend an offer, a committable offer. We'll see. But this kid is definitely getting the attention of some major programs. Let's see where it goes. There is also a belief that Michigan feels really good about their wide receiver board. I don't know how much room there is. Like, that's the question too. So let's kind of observe that one. But thank you, Wolverine Casual, for bringing that to everyone's attention. Samson Gash is a name we should be aware of.
Yeah, appreciate that, Wolverine Not So Casual. Staying current in recruiting. Appreciate that. Nick with the $1.99 sniper shot. I always like to say that. Nick, sometimes for those of you who might have just started watching the show, Nick is our resident $1.99 sniper shot, where he'll throw a $1.99 out and he's gonna take shots at somebody. And in this case, it's Jordan Acker. New segment. How has Acker fucked up your day today?
Did you see Jordan Acker's tweet today?
I did not. What did he say?
He took a shot at Santano, I think. It was like some quote about how, like, I don't know, basically like, shit. I don't want to misquote it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. We should be careful here. We should be careful because I know, like, there's people who okay, so here's the tweet. It says he doesn't believe in anything, just auditions for approval whatever room he's in, which was a shot at Santano for not getting the job at Florida. So hey, take it how you want. We're not picking sides. You know, it's just it's interesting to observe, man.
Yeah. It's very that's very interesting. It reminds me of when people used to do you remember on Facebook when people would just make like a vague statement that was kind of geared to one person, but they just said a vague statement to try to cover it up, and it used to be called vague booking, and it kind of feels like that here. Like Jordan Acker is vague booking or vague Xing Santa Ono.
Yeah.
with this quote that's very obviously, I think it's a very good chance that it's about Santa Ono.
Yeah, so it came out of 511 after the announcement that you know, whatever. I mean, look, hey, walk the path you want to walk, I suppose. I don't care. I think it's interesting. I mean, it's funny because it's interesting to see administration beef. You know, like it's administration beef. You have a president of a school beefing with a regent publicly. You know, so it's funny to watch.
It's absolutely wild stuff. T is like, oh, T would have been cool with a 3-on-1. Okay. It's about the facts. Well, I think the facts, you guys, everybody did a great job. And that's why I didn't feel the need, because I honestly believe TJ and Johnny like covered what I would have said. So like, honestly, I think it was fine. And you guys had a great discussion. If you want to talk to me directly, like I said, we can do that. I'm happy to. But I wasn't really in a place at that time to call in to the show. I'll just leave it at that. But that's kind of where we were there. And I agree it's about the facts. And I think it was I think you guys had a good dialogue. Like it was a good exchange. So there's that.
He wants to go to war with him. He wants a debate.
Yeah, he does.
Captain. 5 or 10 gifted memberships to the queue. You doing all right, John?
Yeah, we just had a little internet blip, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 gifted memberships.
I know, big time. Thank you so much, Captain Stabbin. Honestly, it means a lot to us. It means a lot to the members. And go ahead, John.
So this means Cliff Richardson, Jose Morales, Outdoor Montana, Young Money, Jake Nowitzki, Brian Adams, Monday Morning Rager, Evan, Ryan McCullough, and John Carbello all just got gifted memberships, emojis, all the good stuff. Thank you, Captain Stabbin. And that $sign is perfectly placed. So thank you so much for that contribution there.
Absolutely.
All right. So with that said, let's move on to we have a little bit more time, and we have more viewership now than we did at any point during the show, and which it does tend to rise over the course of the show sometimes, which is really cool to see. We're gonna begin these season previews, and we're gonna go over some of the teams that Michigan is going to be facing. We're gonna go in order. I know some people are going in order of difficulty, and so I like just the idea of going through kind of the schedule. And this is interesting. Michigan versus the New Mexico Lobos. It is a night game. Michigan is favored by 34.5 points. I don't even know if we had a 34.5 point favor last year because of how bad the offense was. 34.5 point favored to win because New Mexico is considered one of the worst teams in college football. But I think a great beginning game for Bryce Underwood to really cut his teeth against a team that is a real football team. He'll be facing live fire and a defense, and he'll be able to show what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great first game for our situation, right? New offensive coordinator, quarterback getting adjusted to the college level, a bunch of players and new roles. It's a good tune-up game. And what I like that I talked about on the Oklahoma show yesterday, it allows the guys to get in a routine for night games, which we have another night game the following week. So, I mean, it's really as good of a tune-up as we could possibly get for the Oklahoma game. So, I mean, look, Michigan should crush them. The defense should dominate. We should see a lot of guys. I know Juju's going to be excited watching like some of the second stringers and stuff. And, you know, a lot of our other guys, a lot of, other people in the community, there's going to be certain players we're going to want to watch. And, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, John. I mean, this should be a pretty easy victory for Michigan, Sharon Moore to kind of find themselves a little bit, try some things out. But we also know this game's about to be vanilla. Like, they're not going to show a lot because they have a big opponent the following week. And don't be surprised, guys, if Bryce Underwood gets pulled early in the third. They are not going to risk Bryce Underwood getting hurt. Now, some people might argue, well, he needs the reps. I think they're going to be in the second half. If we have a major lead, they're going to be very careful. They're going to be very careful with him. There's no need to put him out there and risk of injury. He does need reps, though. So I can see the argument of letting him play into the fourth at least. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the good news is week one, we shall be feeling real good about Michigan. I feel very confident that we're going to have a sizable victory.
Yeah, I think what's going to be most notable is, number one, what happens if Sharon Moore isn't coaching, because that is a possibility. And then obviously number two, it's very notable. New Mexico has a first-year head coach in Jason Eck, right? So he did go 26-13 at Idaho, which is something. They had a 5-7 record last year, and they haven't won more than 4 games since 2016. So wait. This is the definition of cupcake.
New Mexico has not won more than 4 games since 2016.
Correct. In 2016, they had 9 wins.
You know what's
so
crazy?
they did good that year.
You know what's crazy is somebody out there is a diehard New Mexico fan, and man, they're going through it. Somebody out there loves that team, bro.
I know.
Could you imagine being a New Mexico fan? Shit.
Absolutely wild.
Dark
And
days. Dark days.
the defense was as bad as Michigan's offense last year. So worse than 125th in, so 130th in scoring D, 131st in total D, 126th in rush D, 129th in passing D. So it's almost like it's almost like a Spider-Man, looking at each other, but in reverse, because Michigan's offense, New Mexico's defense.
Yeah, it's I don't know, John. There's really not much to preview here. It should be a murder. Someone call the cops. I mean, it's just what it's going to be. Michigan should probably just destroy these guys and probably get their starters off the field in the second half early. We'll see. I didn't realize they did. I had no idea they've only won 4 games since 2016. Like 4 games per year, no more. That's wild.
Yeah.
Someone's got to help New Mexico out, man. I'm feeling bad now.
Well, they got a new coach who had a winning record at Idaho, so there's something.
Okay, Idaho. All right, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Hey.
Prestigious Idaho.
Hey, they got great potatoes. So there's that.
Shout out to the Idaho Potato Bowl.
I think it's worth mentioning that this is going to be, you're not going to see a lot in terms of trickeration. You're not going to see, this is going to be a pretty vanilla game, but here's what I am excited about for this game. Obviously, the first game of Bryce Underwood, that's exciting. Number 2, how do they handle the running back rotation? Right? Who takes the first snap? Is it Jordan Marshall? Is it Justice Haynes? I still think it's Jordan Marshall, but we'll see. I think that's going to be very interesting. And the wide receiver alignment too. I want to see who they're putting out there first at X, Y, and Z, and then how do they rotate them? Defense, defense I'm good with. We all met Wink. We met Wink at the Chop House, and we were all like, thanks for the defense. That's what we said. We had our steak, and then we told Wink, thanks for the defense. Okay?
It's true.
We're good. But offense is what I'm really going to be focusing on, because that was the biggest question mark. There it is, right there, with
good friend
the
Wink.
legend.
Our good friend Wink.
Yeah, Wink ran into us, and that's it. Just happens that way.
He's like, "Hey, I love the show," and we're like, "What?" No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that, but he did come up to us.
Wouldn't that be sweet though?
He's like, "I watch every Thursday when I'm prepping for the game." I'm like, "What?" No way.
For sure, that was fun, and I do, and so, a lot of the people who are at the in Ann Arbor are in the chat right now. Doreen was there. We had Bull. It was great to see everybody. Obviously Kinetic. So there's that.
Obviously
more to
Kinetic.
come.
No shit.
What was that?
John's like, obviously Kinetic. Well, obviously.
Yeah. As one of the Avengers, of course, in the Airbnb.
Yeah, we were fighting Ohio State enemies.
There it is. So with that said, that's our show for today. Now, we do have, obviously, the Thursday show, the 8 p.m. I will be out, just so everybody knows, next week. I'm in Los Angeles, California. I won't be here. You'll see me again the following week. But let people know about what's up for Thursday.
About to have a call-in show, man. Another call-in show, myself and Johnny Olden, who is in the chat, beefing with Kinetic right now, because Kinetic Headstone is going to say Johnny did me dirty. Pause. But it's going on the headstone, bro. And
the beef Johnny here is wild.
It's I don't think it's ever gonna go away. Until next year we go to the Chop House again and we see Wink again. But all right, yeah. So me and Johnny Olden, we're gonna be doing the call-in show Thursday, doing the damn thing, taking calls, talking ball, having a good time. And then next Tuesday, John, because you're not gonna be here, Johnny Olden's going to hold down the fort. He's going to come hang out with us, and he's going to, make sure, it doesn't get too crazy. Johnny's going to, he's the dad with the belt. So if the chat gets crazy, Johnny Olden's going to let him know the deal.
Oh, snap.
And then we also have Namari Burnett joining us Tuesday, June 10th for the call, or for the the Tuesday show. Be on the lookout for that. We're excited to have Nabari on. Yeah, man. And then I am working on another guest. You know who it is, John, because we kind of talked about it. I actually, I need to tell you how I got it. I'll explain something later.
Okay.
And be on the lookout. We're trying to get a very good guest for us. So I'll let you know, we'll update if it is confirmed and we'll go from there. But we're going to continue working to get more guests throughout the summer. Be on the lookout. A lot of people enjoyed our Jalen Pyle interview, which was actually really great. And we'll continue to work on getting more guests for you guys.
Yeah, the guests will keep coming in. It is the off season. Now's the time we like to invite some guests in to give their take or give their perspective. And you guys did a great job on Pyle, and that was a great interview.
Thank you. Okay, so GT just gave me some inspiration here. Ooh. We need to create a Mount Rushmore of guests. And I have two. All right, so I'm going to throw out two. Now this isn't in cement. This is just where we're brainstorming. Queen Jolynn, Connor Stallions as on my Mount Rushmore for guests.
Me too. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Bryce Underwood's 3. Oh shit! But then JJ would be dope.
But JJ Goat Carthy.
It seems impossible with an NFL player. He's busy, man.
He is busy.
You know.
Wow.
But yeah, so right now I'm on Connor Stallions, Queen Jolynn. If I can get either one of them, if they hear me, hey, come on. We'd love to have you guys on. Talk to the community. Let's do the damn thing.
Yep. So that would be awesome. And we have been engaging with various channels on some of those Mount Rushmore people. It would be if anybody has a more direct, let us know and we'll make it happen.
Another dope guest would be Uncle T. If we can get Uncle T on, I'd like to have that too.
Yeah. That would be.
I know he's got a lot to say. I know that
he does have a lot. He does. He's very chatty.
Yeah, he should come on here and just, hey man, let it out. We're here for you.
He's opinionated.
Yeah, talk about the collectives, man. Go for it.
There it is. All right, y'all. Well, that's gonna do it for us for this episode of the show. Now we are going to have obviously hit the X if you haven't followed us yet at John Diadamo at TJ_Ronin. We're going to wrap it up with a message from Mark Rogers, voice of college football. Until next time, we'll be watching Thursday. Go Blue, and we'll see you soon.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact. Just like whatever link you use right now, no difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.